Yeah, battery deep in the frame, sealed and safe. 21 miles range, this board's no fake. CNC remote in my grip like a sword. Throttle so smooth, I command the board. Speed through the storm, no need to stop. Rain or rise, this ride don't drop. I'm wired to fight, built to last. And when I carve, it's full, send fast. This is rebellion refined, a weapon of freedom from precision design. With every charge, I shake the ground. I don't follow, I spin it around. I am Zephyr, write it down. From midnight rides to sunrise towns. My name's in wind, in wheels and flame.
All right, let's open this thing up. Right, looks pretty good so far, but I do have the remote already flying everywhere. I really like this purple touch 6061 CNC. The aluminum looks very good, feels very good to the hand. Got some spacers over here. Also have a T-tool, a 2-amp charger, Linnpower and Jason ESC. Well, it's all official now. I don't think I will need the Chinese charger. I just need the American one. I think this is for the lanyard and the USB charger. Second lanyard. This is a much cheaper one. There's also this thing, your standard Allen keys. So one of the first things I noticed is just how light this thing is. It's actually pretty darn light. So this is the standard rubber wheels that come with the Linnpower Zephyr Pro. This is the Pro version. I do believe you get street wheels if you get their standard version. There is a metal core over here. So I'm wondering if you can actually replace the rubber wheels when you're done with it. So, okay, I don't know if it's super easy to see or not, but this is pretty long. So you do need to use a spacer. And luckily, there are included spacers in this pouch. I mean, right now you have options, right? You have options. You can put in the wheels first, and then you can put in the spacer. It's gonna make it very nimble. But I'm gonna go the standard way of putting the spacers in first. A washer, and finally the nut. Okay, just look at this. Still free rolling. Insert first. Shrink wrap on the wheels. Okay, let's now connect the board. Find the power button. This is the board. All right, let's take it out for a test ride.
I am Zephyr, remember me. From cracked sidewalks to lightning speed. This is my world, and this board's my fight. I am the storm, I own the night.
The Zephyr Pro is packed with high-end components never seen before at its price. It uses fully forged and anodized trucks, as well as a drop-through deck of bamboo and maple layered with fiberglass. Its dual 6358 belt motors deliver a peak 3,800 watts of real power, controlled by a Jason FOC ESC at 100 amps phase current for the Pro version. The Zephyr includes a CNC machined aluminum scroll wheel remote, which has a dual bearing scroll wheel for ultra smooth throttle, and a custom FlexVolt battery enclosure with fire resistant materials and sealing for IPX5 water resistance. Custom pivot cup that will last 30% longer than the competition, and premium MOSFETs that offer higher power and lower heat generation. These features and the monstrous best-in-class torque enable the Zephyr and the Zephyr Pro to not only punch above its weight class, but also to completely redefine the mid-range electric skateboard market as the new gold standard that every manufacturer should look up to. The Zephyr lineup comes in base and pro variants. The Zephyr Pro adds larger motors, a beefier ESC, and a higher power battery. By default, the Pro ships with 115 by 65mm 70A rubber wheels, whereas the base uses 85 by 59mm PU wheels. The Pro's larger wheels boost shock absorption and low-speed grip. Other options include choice of pulleys and an add-on CNC tail light. Acedec's co-branded Breeze board is a similar design, however, there are notable differences. Zephyr Pro has 115mm wheels versus Breeze's 125mm wheels, and Zephyr ships with a 2-amp charger instead of 4 amps. And lastly, the Breeze's deck look angular, as opposed to the more rounded design of the Zephyr. Ultimately, whatever you choose, the bulk of that experience will be extremely similar. The Zephyr's deck is a drop-down concave design with moderately aggressive U-shaped foot pockets, giving a very low and stable stance that will give the Parsec Aero Pro a run for its money. It's built from Canadian maple and bamboo core, reinforced with 3 layers of fiberglass and epoxy resin. Linnpower claims this high-pressure laminate gives superior long-lasting flex characteristics. While I can't test the longevity of the flex, I can definitely confirm that the deck has a balanced flex, firm enough for pop but with lively flex for carving comfort. The lowered stance enhances stability at speed and makes pushing easier. This shape and materials yield a solid ride platform ideal for carving and commuting. The Zephyr Pro is geared for torque with a 3.2 to 1 gear ratio. Officially, it tops out around 34.2 miles per hour. It achieves this with dual 6358 belt motors at 170 kV, delivering 3,800 watts real output. The Jason ESC at 100 amps phase current delivers smooth but instantaneous power and can be tuned via the remote. In practice, the top speed is easily achievable and feels stable for a DKP setup, and the ESC's CNC heatsink helps manage heat dissipation for sustained top speed runs.
This version that I have is the Pro model. You get a higher amperage ESC and bigger motors. This is a huge payoff. If you're already spending like $600 and if you can spare just $200 more, this thing is so powerful. So I think right now it's $799, so it's like $800, but it feels as powerful, if not more powerful, than a Meepo Voyager. Meepo Voyager is always, to me, the gold standard of a premium acceleration boosted electric skateboard, and that board is about $1,000. At $800 is able to match that speed, and if not higher. Just how much value these motors are bringing to the table. These motors and the high amperage ESC inside this board, and alongside with Samsung 50S cells, pushes this board to a premium level at a budget price. When I go from 0 to 20, this thing has a lot of torque. But also when I'm cruising, say like at 15, at 20, and I want to go super fast, and this thing also delivers that incredible torque super quickly as well. There's almost no delay. This remote control kind of enables that with this super snappy feel as well. So right now I'm just really impressed with how this board accelerates. This is the first time that a $799 board, like what I would consider as a mid-range price, delivers premium acceleration power to the point where it scared me quite a bit, because I was actually just wearing a t-shirt testing this outside with elbow pads, but then I was like, oh shit, this thing is so powerful. I gotta go back home, put on my Beyond Riders crash jacket just in case I crash. One thing that I have to say that you need to get used to is the length of the deck. The length of the deck is a little bit shorter than a normal electric skateboard deck, so it's a little bit shorter than like a boosted style board. This means your stand, your legs are a little bit together. What that means is that gives you less kind of pushback against the humongous amount of torque this board is about to output, right? So very often I find myself reposition my foot on top of the plates over here, and very often I find myself doing like, whoa, I gotta put my foot further back on top of this to rebalance myself, because the huge amount of torque this thing outputs requires a longer stance. What I do is I seriously need to kind of put my foot over here on top of the deck over here in order to kind of balance myself fully. But you could counter this by just preemptively leaning forward a little bit more than what you're used to balance the position that your feet need to be in. Just practice that whenever you need to go super high power. Just lean forward a little bit more and you'll be set.
Also, like most high kV belt setups, the motors emit a high-pitched whine at full throttle, which definitely wins my best sounding electric skateboard of the year award.
Alright, so the first thing right off the bat that I noticed is the engine scream, or the motor scream. Man, this thing sounds sweet. It's like going back to the old school electric skateboards where it's pretty noisy, but in a good way, you know? Noise is a byproduct of power, so when you generate a lot of power, there should be a lot of noise. That's what the Linnpower Zephyr delivers. It delivers a lot of power and a lot of motor scream. That sounds really good. Here, have a listen. So yeah, this is definitely one of the best sounding electric skateboards that I have tested in recent memory. Most electric manufacturers are so obsessed with making a quiet electric skateboard, but most electric skateboarders use electric skateboards as a hobby, as recreational purposes, right? So what we do is we want that speed, we want that adrenaline. The most profound experience was actually at eSkateCon, when I'm hearing all these racers kind of zooming by, right? You can hear their gears, you can hear that noise, you can hear the motor screaming as they're coming by. It raises my adrenaline. When a production board drives by, it's so quiet. Everybody's so obsessed with being quiet. When a quiet board comes by, it just gives off as if they're really slow, but they're not. Without any noise, they just look slow and feel slow. And when I'm on the Zephyr, this is an old school, unfiltered type of motor scream, and it feels so damn good. I am absolutely in love with the noise. It's just loud enough for everybody around you to hear you, and it's loud enough to make a statement that something really fast is coming by.
就叫 Zephyr， 是风的名字也是警告，一出发就没打算停下脚，脚下不是路，是燃烧的信号。谁说铁的就代表低调？这 double drop 是为了贴近真实，也贴近下一次爆发的需要。我叫 Zephyr， 风的名字也是严刑的信仰，不是谁给我的称号，是我猜出来的方向。当世界还在沉睡，我一贴的飞翔，那不是低头，是与重力对抗的情况。双脚站在一道光与速度交界的缝隙，仿佛每一次加速都在挣脱宿命的复习。我不说话，只让轮子说出真理，划过的地方风都学会了。